Lionel Andrew passed away on February 3rd, 2021, at his home in Allston, Massachusetts. Though suffering from suboptimal cardiac health and diabetes for over a decade, his passing was thoroughly unexpected and greatly saddened Prima, his wife of 39 years, and Tricia, his only daughter. Lionel was an Odysseus, living many adventurous lives in over 10 countries before finally finding belonging and contentment in his spiritual homeland of Boston. Like Odysseus, Lionel was celebrated by those who knew him for his cunning intelligence, versatility, and leadership. Above all, everyone who knew him knew of his fierce love for his family, for whom he singularly toiled and strived so that they could lead stable, happy lives. Born Lionel Andrew Chandramohan on November 26, 1949, in a small village in newly independent India, Chandu, as his parents and sisters called him, was raised in Malkajgiri, an outlying district of Hyderabad, in the state of Andhra Pradesh in southern India. The only son of Dr. and Mrs. Ambujam Jayaraj, Chandu was the apple of his mother's and sister's eyes, and very soon their guardian, protector, and confidant. Chandu started working early, at the age of 15, to support his parents and sisters, and rapidly grew into the unofficial leader, both civic and social, of his district before he turned 20. Even 70 years later, his daughter occasionally hears stories of how Chandu would skillfully and resourcefully make impossible things happen in his days in Malkajgiri. At the age of 22, Chandu left home to work in the overflowing oil fields of Saudi Arabia so that he could earn what was to him an astonishing salary that would win him and his family financial stability for decades. Now called Lionel C. Mohan by the administration at Aramco, an arbitrary selection of his first, third, and fourth given names, Chandu quickly catapulted from the roughneck ranks into white-collar positions, eventually becoming inventory supervisor and earning an MBA while working full-time. Not liking the sound of his arbitrarily chosen Aramco name, Chandu rechristened himself Lionel Andrew, by which he would be known for the rest of his professional life. A few years later, Lionel would be part of a pioneering new team of employees who automated and digitized from the ground up the oil barrel inventory management system for Aramco, which was at the time the largest oil producer on earth. This feat won Lionel many persistent job offers from competing oil companies scattered across the globe. And Lionel, ever the Odysseus, would go on to accept a fair number of these offers and computerize inventory systems for many oil companies in multiple countries and continents. In 1981, after he had built his parents a new home, helped arrange the marriages of his two sisters, traveled across Europe and Southeast Asia, and accumulated professional accolades, Lionel married Prema Sornam, a self-possessed and quietly fierce young woman with whom, in his telling, he fell in love at first sight. Upon the birth of their daughter, Tricia, Lionel and Prema felt that their family, the Andrew family, was complete, and the trio went on to have many daring adventures together, as Lionel's professional successes allowed them to happily globetrot. As Tricia's 10th birthday approached, however, Lionel and Prema realized that they wanted their willful, outspoken, intelligent daughter to have a life with unlimited, unrestricted opportunities, which they feared were not available to her in the country of their birth. Therefore, remarkably, at the age of 45, when he should have been leisurely reveling in the successes and stability he won over 3 decades of hard work, Lionel and his family emigrated from India to Vancouver, Canada. Here, Lionel and Prema forged new North American identities from the ground up and reestablished professional credentials that won them access to stable jobs in Vancouver and eventually in Seattle, Washington. Together, they bought their first beloved American split-level house in the Tony, Seattle suburb of Lake Forest Park, Washington, while Tricia graduated high school and completed her undergraduate degree. When Tricia moved to Boston in 2005 to complete her graduate studies, Lionel and Prema quickly sold their house in Lake Forest Park and moved east to be closer to their only child. And in doing so, fell in love with the culture, atmosphere, history, and spirit of Boston. Lionel and Prema went on to make their home in Allston, Massachusetts, and for the first time in their lives, felt rooted and deeply connected to a physical place. Every weekday morning, Lionel would swim in the Brighton YMCA pool before work. On weekends when Tricia was scheduled to visit, Lionel would buy special cuts of meat from the Pakistani grocer near their apartment so that Prema could cook their favorite paella dish. Together, Lionel and Prema sang in the choir of their church in Southborough, where Lionel would play his characteristic guitar harmonica combo. At their sprawling apartment complex, Lionel simultaneously befriended and exasperated the property management staff and general contractors who worked on site. To anyone who allowed him the opportunity, Lionel would boast endlessly about his daughter. Toward the end of his life, debilitating arthritis and poor heart health severely restricted Lionel's mobility and dampened his erstwhile dynamism. Nevertheless, the Andrew family marched on and enjoyed smaller, quieter outings in Western Massachusetts, upstate New York, Vermont, and Southern Maine, locations which all could be accessed by Lionel's well-used but trusty Toyota RAV4. As his own health faltered and his energy reserves waned, Lionel dedicated himself more fiercely to his family, supporting his wife Prema as her career blossomed, acting as a one-man publicity machine for Tricia's achievements and accolades, and appreciating, which is to say eating, the fruits and vegetables of Prema and Tricia's labors in their gardens. To his family, friends, and colleagues, Lionel was a man who could bend fate to his will and make the seemingly impossible possible. For his daughter, Lionel's courage, adventurousness, and resourcefulness informed her own outlook on life. Lionel's gregarious, canny, nurturing, occasionally exasperating presence will forever be missed.